The world of meditation is incredibly vast. It goes everywhere from a silent meditation to breath work to mantra to mudra to meditations that include all of that. There are affirmation mantras. There are, you name it, it's here in the scope of meditation. And what I'd like to do today is to cover with you something called a loving kindness meditation. And I think this is a very powerful inspiration that comes from the Buddhist tradition. And I want to talk about it a little bit and then hang on and stay with me till the end, and then we'll actually practice it, my version of a loving kindness meditation. So let's talk about these concepts first. So when I was, first of all, my name is Salimah, yoga therapist. And if you're here on this channel, you love everything to do with spirituality. You have found Kundalini yoga to be a helpful asset in your spiritual and healing journey. And we're just, every time I post, my intention is to help us move a little further down the line and spark some interest in a new little avenue for you to explore. So that's what we're going to do today. I first came across loving kindness meditation, must have been about more than 10 years ago. And I found it incredibly powerful. It pops up into my life exactly at the right moment. And I thought, if it's right for me, then maybe it's right for you too. And so today's the day where we're going to explore it. Let's break this down into a few different concepts. And I just want to say here that I'm not formally trained in the Buddhist tradition. What I am is a keen observer and a teacher of spiritual concepts, and I love all of that myself. And so I'm distilling for you what I've come to learn so that you can have a starting understanding and then go and explore as you want to and as you need to. So let's break down these two concepts, loving kindness. When I was studying to become a yoga therapist, my teacher said something really interesting to me. And he said that love is the most powerful force in the universe. And I was in some ways really taken aback by that, because up until that time, I was very conditioned by society to think about love as romance, or love as an emotion, or love as a feeling. And I didn't understand what he meant by love as a force. And as my understandings have matured, as I've gotten older myself, I've started to really see that everything, the grass grows because of love. The moon rises because of love. Everything in the universe is connected to this concept of love. And again, not as an emotion, but as a gesture, as a force. It really is a force, and it is a motivator, and it is a change maker. And when I think about love in that way, it allows all of us to have a much bigger, broader understanding of what we're talking about when we talk about love. For those of you who are parents, you know that feeling that you have for your children, it will move mountains. It will change the trajectory of your life. When you have an animal, a pet who you love, you will change your whole schedule for that being. You will spoil them rotten. You will excitedly come home to spend time with your pet. And this is true for all relationships. This is true of potentially our experience of the universe itself, a love, a trust, a courage, an understanding, an honesty that really pervades how we operate in the world. And I think that that's really what truly describes love. And so when we start with a concept of love, we know that we're in a transformative experience with one another, with the universe, and with all beings. The second part of this meditation that's interesting is the idea and the concept of kindness. And kindness to me is rooted in this idea of, how do we relate to each other? How do we show up for each other? And what is that? What's that underlying feeling that we want to receive? And what is that underlying experience that we want to offer? And I think that in all the groups that I work with, teacher training, numerology sessions, harmony within, everybody comes to the group with an idea of kindness, not only to treat others kindly, but to also feel that generosity of spirit, of that space to be vulnerable, of that idea of who we are and how we are as being a shared common experience. And I think all of those ideas bind us in humanity. So kindness is a way of showing up. Kindness is a way of being with each other. And it has this element of compassion. I see you for what you're going through. And I too go through that same thing. We have a shared common humanity. And that's what we want to bring to presence in this conversation. When we think about all these elements, I think about not just loving kindness to others, but how do I treat myself? Not just loving kindness towards people I know, but how do I feel about the community that I live in physically? How do I think about the world in general and feel expansive about that? And as a reminder, there's 8 billion of us here on this planet, 8 billion people, and billions of them we will never meet. Billions of them we may never even like, but we have this shared experience of being humans on this planet right here and right now, with all that's going on, with all the conflict and the war and the economics and the politicals and the social dynamics. We're here sharing this time and space together. And so one of the small things that we can do is to extend that understanding to each other, so that shared humanity. And then finally, to be in a place of acceptance about all of it. There are things that we can't necessarily change by the virtue of just us as humans, but we can put an idea, we can share a sense of collective responsibility through our gestures and through how we show up. And I think all of that as a concept and as a way of being is what defines yoga and what defines spirituality and a mutual respect for one another. And so this practice that we're going to explore today is called Loving Kindness. It's my version. There are many versions and there are formal ways to approach it. But the idea here is to extend loving kindness to people that we love, to ourselves, to the broader community around us, and then beyond. And so that's where we're going to go in our meditation today. This is a seated meditation, so we're going to go into that right now. So if you take a moment and let's do a little bit of work to get settled and relaxed. Remember that meditation is for the mind, but that doesn't mean that our body isn't involved. And so I'd like you to take a few moments now to roll your shoulders out, just as I'm doing, as you're sitting now, as you're listening to this meditation. Remember, if you're driving or doing some kind of activity, just make sure that you're safe and that you can listen. And you may even want to save this for later so that you can come back to it. Great, shoulders are relaxed. Now, taking your hands, crossing them over your heart space, move your neck from side to side as if you were dropping your ear towards the shoulder. And this will help to loosen up any feelings of tightness around the neck and the back. That's definitely where I'm feeling it today. 3, 2, and 1. Good. And relax your hands down. And from here, bring your hands all the way out in front of you. I'm just going to turn circles with the wrist. Good. And then we're going to go in the opposite direction. Good. And then press your palms against the screen as if you were pushing against the screen in front of you. Inhale very deeply. And exhale, extend your arms all the way out to the sides as if you were pushing the walls to the sides of you. Good. and release. Bring your hands back to center. We're going to take a moment and pull the fingers back. Inhale and exhale. Opposite side. So pulling on the fingers just gently. Inhale through the nose. Pull, and then gently pushing against those fingers and exhale through the mouth. Good. And then give yourself a little wiggle here. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. You're going to take a moment to shake out the body. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Good. Bring your palms up and bring your thumbs underneath your baby fingers. From here, inhale very deeply and bring your fingers around your thumbs and squeeze. Inhale very deeply and squeeze, tense and hold all of your muscles and put particular focus on your thumbs. And now we're going to let go of the breath and let go of the thumbs in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. And you may feel a little rising as you do that. That's exactly what's required. We're resetting our nervous system. Our inner body is getting a little bit of stress relief, and that's really important. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale very deeply, squeeze, tense, hold the breath. Through the mouth, exhale, let it go. And 1 more time, inhale. Three, 2, and 1, let it go, exhale. Yeah. Okay, great. And so if like me, you might have had a settling feeling, a rising feeling, or a settling feeling, that's what we're looking for, a little bit of a reset. And so those small, short exercises that we just did are exactly for your body to bring down the level of stress and also to assure yourself that you're safe and that now we can continue. Okay. So how to use this meditation, when to use it. You can use it anytime. It's very free flowing, and it's also an opportunity to reconnect to yourself. Because as we talked about love, there is something important to note is that we all have a desire to be loved, to belong, to fit in, to connect. And if we have that desire as a human, so does everyone around you. And understanding and recognizing these human experiences really allows us to build something called grace. And grace is a way of giving ourselves a little bit of room to feel our feelings and be human. And particularly when you're going through your healing journey or a spiritual journey, you may find moments where you feel shame or guilty or hurt or harmed. And these kind of practices that we're going to do right now help to bring those pieces back together to acknowledge how we feel and to make space for that. Okay, so very powerful and very deliberate type of action we're taking now. So if you're up for it, we're going to step in now. If you've had enough and you just want to take in everything that I've just spoken about, that's fine too. You can always bookmark this and come back later. Totally fine. All right, so sitting with if you're ready to begin with me, sit with your tall, straight spine. And then gently close your eyes and start to pay attention to your breath. Inhaling for a count of 4 and exhaling for a count of 4. And this kind of equal breath starts to signal to the body, to the mind, to the spirit, everything is fine. It sends a signal of safety. And that's what we want to do, is feel safe. Feel that our work here is for the benefit of all, including ourselves. Continue that breathing, inhaling for a count of 4 and exhaling for a count of 4. Remember that compassion is seeing ourselves and also seeing others. What I'd like you to do with your eyes closed now is to call to mind a person, a pet, could be present, could be someone who's passed on, who you felt incredibly connected and safe with, someone who is was a loving experience in your life. And just bring their face to your mind, look into their eyes, and feel that loving embrace from their presence in your life. And as you look at this loving person, you can say to yourself inwardly, just like me, this person wants to be happy and to avoid suffering. Feel what that feels like in your body as you acknowledge that person and recognize their common humanity with you. Inhale very deeply and exhale completely. Take this step now to your own self. Look into your own eyes as if you were looking into a mirror. Look into your eyes. Look into the heart of who you are. And acknowledge here, I want to be happy, just like everyone else. I want to feel loved, just like everyone else. And just like everyone else, I too want to avoid suffering. Inhale very deeply and exhale completely. And notice what comes up for you as you acknowledge your own experience. What do you sense and feel in your body? Next step now is to broaden our awareness of the people and experiences we share this life with. Think of someone now in your life who you passed by on the street casually. Maybe it was somebody at the grocery store. Maybe it was somebody who delivered a parcel or a mail. Just somebody that you came across. You may not know anything about them. Just bring that person to mind. Look into their eyes in your imagination. Hold their gaze and mentally say to yourself, just like me, this person wants to be happy, to feel love, and to avoid suffering. Inhale very deeply and exhale. And just notice. Notice your body. Notice any sensations, your feelings, your emotions, where your mind might start to create different experiences for you. Inhale very deeply and let that go. We're moving on now. Think of someone in your life that is a part of your life. You know their name. They are part of how you take care of your health. Maybe it's a doctor, a dentist, some kind of practitioner, somebody who you know a little bit more than a casual stranger. Bring their face into your mind and look into their eyes and mentally say to yourself, just like me, this person wants to be happy, to be loved, and to avoid suffering. And exhale. And again, notice what experiences you have as you've acknowledged that person in your mind's eye and in your heart. Think of someone now in your life who you've had a challenge with. Maybe there's been a conflict or an ongoing something or other. Or maybe whenever you think about them, it brings tension to your body. We're going to step in a little bit closer now. Bring that person's face into your mind's eye. Look into their eyes. I just want to say here that it's somebody who keep this at a level where you feel that you can offer. Look into their eyes and acknowledge for yourself, just like me, this person wants to be happy, to be loved, and to avoid suffering. Inhale very deeply and exhale completely. And you may have noticed something else show up there. Maybe it was harder. Maybe there was a conflict. Maybe it's still sitting there, but you did the practice. Good for you. Let's extend now into a broader framework. Think about the area that you live in and all the people who surround you. Maybe you know them, maybe you don't. Think about your community, the street that you live on, and think about all the people who live there collectively as a group, acknowledging them in your mind and in your heart. Just like me, everybody here wants to be happy, to feel loved, and to avoid suffering. Inhale very deeply and exhale completely. Inhale deeply now and think about the country that you live in. We're making this much more vast. The province, the state, and then the country. Take in that massive collection of beings that live in the same territory that you do. Take in the vastness of the human experience that shows up in those places. And let's acknowledge, just like me, everybody here wants to be happy, to feel loved, and to avoid suffering. Notice what happens as you take in that vastness, as you offer this open, loving gesture to so many. Let's extend now from the country you live in to every country in the world, every territory in the world, North America, South America, Europe, Africa, Asia, Pacific Islands, all the islands in between, the Arctic, the Antarctic, places you've never been, places that you can't pronounce, places that exist in the world, and human beings live there. Take it all in, 8 billion of us here on this shared planet. Take it all in and acknowledge our shared common humanity. Just like me, everybody here wants to be happy, to feel loved, and to avoid suffering. See where your mind takes you, heart takes you. Notice where there's free flowing energy. Notice where there's constriction. Notice there's no perfect here, just a practice. Let's extend now beyond the human realms and think about all the beings that we share this planet with, all the sentient beings. This means beings that have awareness of themselves and each other and us. The animals, the fish under the water, the beings that fly through the sky, the insects, the plant life, the vegetation, the trees, the seeds, the leaves. Take it all in. Billions and billions and billions of beings. Just like me, everybody wants to be happy, to feel love, and to avoid suffering. Let your compassion, your self-compassion, your infinite self stay here and linger for a few moments with all the other beings on this planet. Bring your hands over your heart space. And as you breathe and love and remember and acknowledge, it is your heart that has done all of that. Take a deep inhale, breathe right into your heart space, the space behind your hands now. Inhale very deeply. Hold the breath and exhale. Inhale very deeply. Exhale completely. And one more time, take a deep inhale. And exhale. Slowly and gently relaxing your hands away from your body and acknowledging everybody who's watched this video, who is watching this video right here and right now with you, a global community. Take it all in. And thank you for participating. It's a joy and a pleasure to share these teachings with you from very different cultures and ancient wisdom traditions. And that's what it's all about, is experiencing and exploring the vastness of our human experience. Lots of love to you. My name is Salimah, yoga therapist. If you're looking for more resources, check out the link in my bio. There's numerology consults, Harmony Within, where we work as a group to explore these topics, and also Kundalini yoga teacher training. Lots of love to you. Until next time, bye for now.